soccer team, right? And there's an opportunity. Last night, you saw members of the base, when we talk about the coalition she's going to need to build to win this election. You saw members of the base, black women, super excited about her. Well, now today she has an opportunity to talk to all women, to talk to America, to say to young girls, you know, you can be a national champion and be here either because you're the first president, you're the first vice president, or because you're just really great at sports. And so really tell the story of what is possible in America. And if this is not a political event, this is an official event, so she probably won't lean in too much, but there's an opportunity for her to reintroduce herself and say, I can be the president for all. And that's important because when people think about 2016 and Hillary Clinton, we think about the 53% of white women who did not go out and support Hillary Clinton and voted for Donald Trump. Today is the day she can talk to those 53% and say, there's a place for you in the Democratic coalition, and I'm going to open the door for you.
Ashley, and you know the Vice President very well. You were her communications director. Talk a little bit about what this means for her right now and how she's about to handle this great new assignment.
Oh, no, I'm super excited for the Vice President. I'm excited for the nation, and to Ashley's point, I'm excited for my daughter and all young women that are going to be able to grow up and see their full possibility. But I would love to sort of take a step back to something Ron said. I think what's going to be interesting here now is the Republican attack lines are actually going to be her strength. They're going to attack her on being a woman. This is a current environment where the Republicans have an all-out assault on women. They've undermined Roe. The head of their party is a convicted rapist. You know, I know very well because I work for Speaker Pelosi. Donald Trump becomes unhinged when a woman actually challenges him. So that's going to give her an advantage. But in addition to that, to Ashley's point, she is every woman. And so women of color, her being a person of color now is going to work to her advantage. If we were seeing sort of a lag among enthusiasm among black people, we don't see that anymore today. To Ashley's point, there was a call with 47,000 black women on the phone last night. In 3 hours, raised $7 million. So there's huge enthusiasm around the Vice President. I'm excited for her. And so now she gets to really put herself on the, full display for the nation and see how great and brilliant she actually is.
And she was the district attorney in San Francisco.
Absolutely.
And then the attorney general in the state of California, the largest state in the union.
The first at every job, right?
And so she's a prosecutor. How is she going to handle if there's a debate with Trump, between her and Trump? How is she going to handle it?
Well, this is now a time where her being a prosecutor actually works to her advantage. When she ran in the primary race, it actually didn't then, but now it actually works to her advantage. You can almost see the bumper stickers like, vote for the prosecutor, not the felon. So I think she's going to absolutely prosecute the case. She's done it effectively, very well, in states and among key constituencies, that broad coalition that Joe Biden built to win in 2020. She's doing that now. But here's the other thing I would say. I would challenge her not to do what Democrats typically do. We like to win the argument and not the debate. Don't argue him point for point. Stick to big themes. He's a liar. You can't trust him. He's a threat to American democracy. Stick to those big themes and don't try to challenge him on each point.
And she's a good debater.
She's an amazing debater. Absolutely excellent. You've seen those clips. That's why Donald Trump doesn't want to debate her, because he's a little scared. Not a little, a lot of scared, I should say.
He said he doesn't want ABC to do the next debate. He wants Fox News to do the next debate. When I heard that, I suspected maybe he's a little worried about debating.
Absolutely. So you can be on friendly territory.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Interesting. We're looking at these live pictures coming in from the South Lawn of the White House right now. The Vice President, filling in for the President today, will be honoring these athletes from the NCAA athletes from the 2023-2024 season. She's going to be speaking. We want to hear what she has to say. This will be her first remarks. She's now being introduced right now. Let's listen in.
Good morning. I'm Linda Teeler, Senior Vice President for Championships.
All right, while we're waiting to hear from the Vice President, I want to bring in presidential historian Douglas Brinkley for some analysis right now. Step back a little bit. Douglas, and give us the historic picture of what we're seeing in our country right now.
Well, I think everybody now should read The Truths We Hold, the memoir of Kamala Harris, because she's one of those extraordinary, up from modest circumstances, immigrant parents, growing up in Oakland and then bouncing around and going to Howard University and being a star there, being a star at University of California Law School. So her whole trajectory is part of kind of the American dream. It's strange, but when you think about it, if I ask who's vice president of the 19th century at every given time, well, people don't know. So Kamala Harris really does need to be introduced to the American people. The conservative movement, MAGA, has tried to identify her with the border. They've tried to Hillary Clintonize her right out of the gate for the last 4 years and trying to damage her brand. They get to it. But she can come on strong now, and I think the most important thing will be for President Biden to talk strongly about her, why his final legacy is a Kamala Harris presidency. I think over the weekend it's a lot of almost mourning of Joe Biden leaving, not running for re-election. Should be reversed. It should be Biden coming out and saying, don't worry about what I did for America. This is my final legacy, Kamala Harris. Put some wind in her sail.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this relationship continues to evolve. And Ashley Etienne, you worked for Kamala Harris as communications director. What was her relationship with the President Biden like?
Oh, they had an incredibly close relationship, not only just a friendship, but they were true partners in the work. This is why I make the point that his accomplishments aren't his alone, that she was a true partner in every bit of that. I was there in the Oval Office with him, where she was, sitting in on the presidential daily briefing every morning. She was calling world leaders as he was, sort of complimenting his work. She was tasked with big assignments to go to the Hill and flip not just Democrats, but also move some Republicans. So they have a really good relationship that's rooted in respect, mutual respect for each other. I think he adores, what she brings to the table in terms of her practicality about seeing problems, seeing people. That's her ethos. But then also, how does that apply to implementation of policy? I think he really appreciated that. If you know anything about Joe Biden, he always asks the question, well, how does it affect real people? What does this mean for real
She's
people?
about to speak. Let's listen in.
Thank you for all you do to support these extraordinary student athletes. And it is good to be here with so many leaders, including, of course, members of Congress, members of our administration, and our extraordinary athletes. Our president, Joe Biden, wanted to be here today. He is feeling much better and recovering fast, and he looks forward to getting back on the road. And I wanted to say a few words about our president. Joe Biden's legacy of accomplishment over the past 3 years is unmatched in modern history. In one term, he has already, yes, you may clap. In one term, he has already surpassed the legacy of most presidents who have served 2 terms in office. And I first came to know President Biden through his son, Beau. We worked together as attorneys general in our states. And back then, Beau would often tell me stories about his dad. He would talk about the kind of father and the kind of man that Joe Biden is. The qualities that Beau revered in his father are the same qualities that I have seen every day in our president. His honesty, his integrity, his commitment to his faith and his family, his big heart, and his love, deep love of our country. And I am firsthand witness that every day our President Joe Biden fights for the American people, and we are deeply, deeply grateful for his service to our nation. And so with that, on behalf of our President and Dr. Biden, I am honored to welcome all of you to the White House.
just on X, formerly known as Twitter right now. Kayla Tashi is our White House correspondent. Kayla, give us a sense of what's going on right now, what we should anticipate in the coming hours and the next few days.
Well, Vice President Harris has made it clear that she is going to seize the reins of this moment and of this campaign, traveling to Wilmington, as you just mentioned, later this afternoon to try to rally the troops for the 105 days to go, this home stretch of the campaign, where in the last 4 weeks, Harris and her party have become something of underdogs, to use a sports metaphor, as the Vice President addresses this audience of athletes. She used these remarks to praise the leadership of President Biden and the accomplishments that he has notched in the last 3 years, and thanking him and the First Lady for the opportunity to be here at this event today. But using some broad language, talking about going for the gold, being a winner, and being supported by a team, it's hard not to sense the metaphors and some of the parallels in what she was saying as she embarks on this journey of her own to try to retake the narrative for the Democratic Party and trying to rally members of the party nationwide and to galvanize voters behind her candidacy goals.
Very interesting. We'll see what happens when she's in Wilmington, Delaware. Maria Cardona, it jumps out at me, and I'm sure a lot of other people, she would be the first woman president of the United States if, in fact, she's elected. Because Hillary Clinton tried that, didn't work out for her, but this would be a huge, huge moment in American history.
Huge moment, Wolf. But she wouldn't just be the first woman. She'd be the first woman of color, black woman of Asian descent, daughter of immigrants. So many glass ceilings would be just shattered if she makes it. But I also noticed this amazing parallel between the event that she's doing now, telling those athletes that they are about to embark on the competition of their life, the ones that are going to the Olympics. She's about to embark on the competition of her life. And that competition is going to be tough. It's going to be something that none of us have ever seen before. They are going to attack her like no other woman in that position has ever been attacked, because there's really been no other woman doing what she's about to do. The other side is going to lie, cheat, and steal. They're going to otherize her, and she's going to need the team of her life as well around her. Because when she brings home the gold, it's not going to be just for her. It's going to be for the American people who are looking to her, to the Democrats, to somebody to make sure that we keep our democracy sacred, that we continue to fight for the families that have been given so much with the accomplishments that she just underscored for her and what Joe Biden has been able to accomplish. And there's so much more that is at stake between what she wants to offer and the massive threat that, and actually said it so well, the prosecutor against a 34 times convicted rapist felon, you know, that is something that is so critical because so many communities would be at stake.
And we're going to continue to watch history unfold here in the United States. Everyone stand by. To our viewers, thanks very much for joining us here in the CNN Newsroom. I'm Wolf Blitzer in Washington. I'll be back later tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern, in the Situation Room. Right back here tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. in the CNN Newsroom. Stay with us. Inside Politics with Dana Bash starts right after a very short break.
Let's go! I can't do it! I can't do it! I just got trouble and thrown out of my bar! Is that good TV?
Watch all new episodes of Impractical Jokers on a new network, Thursdays at 10 on TBS.
These bills are crazy.
She has no idea she's sitting on a gold mine. She doesn't know that if she owns a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more, she can sell all or part of it to Coventry for cash, even a term policy. Even a term policy? Even a term!
Find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. Call Coventry Direct today at 800-461-8800 or visit CoventryDirect.com.
If you have Graves' disease and itchy eyes, the truth may be even more uncomfortable. People with Graves could also get thyroid eye disease, or TED, which may need a different doctor. Find a TED eye specialist at isitted.com.
Put a pin in it, we're done.
Ever laugh so hard you leave? Well, Always Discreet keeps you worry-free all set long by holding even my biggest specials. With up to 0 leaks, wet feel, and odor. So you're not just dry, you're laugh until you cry dry. Everyday protection for every level of leak. We've got you always, always discreet.
Darlings, if you've been paying attention, it's easy to see prices are going up on just about everything. That's why you need to do your wallet a favor and call CarShield now. One call to CarShield locks you into today's low price, so you can enjoy peace of mind knowing that you're not only protected from mechanical breakdowns, but also from those rising rates. If you're driving an out-of-warranty vehicle, CarShield offers plans that cover up to 6,000 parts and systems in your car, truck, or SUV. Why pay for expensive repairs? Call CarShield now before a breakdown.
My mom told me to call CarShield. I listened and I saved $5,000. You should always listen to your mom.
When I needed long-term protection at affordable prices, I called CarShield. I've been a CarShield customer for close to 7 years, had 3 vehicles covered, and they saved me close to $9,000.
CarShield saved me $2,200.
CarShield Administrators covers expensive repairs so I don't have to.
It's so simple. A plan through CarShield means when you have a vehicle that needs repairs, their administrators got your back. But wait, darlings, there's more. Lots more. Especially if you love extras like I do. See, I love a plan that includes 24/7 coast-to-coast roadside assistance, courtesy towing, and rental car options too. Darlings, expensive car breakdowns will happen. The difference is calling CarShield before they do. So listen to Auntie Vivica and call CarShield now to protect yourself from rising rates and costly repairs. Call now and get yourself a free quote.
It's not a matter of if your car will break down, but when. You need to call CarShield before your car breaks down. CarShield gives you a price lock guarantee, which means your monthly price never goes up for as long as you cover your car. Get help paying for expensive repair bills by calling CarShield now. Call 800-498-6955. 800-498-6955. 800-498-6955.
Authentic Ireland comes to Southern Ontario this August with the return of Niagara Irish Festival. Join our 2-day celebration of Irish music and culture in beautiful Niagara Falls. Come with friends and family to see a leprechaun arriving by helicopter. Plus Irish food, drinks, dancing, and the finest local Irish musicians, including Grassmud Horse, Steel City Rovers, and international Irish entertainer Paddyman. Discover Ireland in Niagara Falls, August 23rd and 24th at Fireman's Park. Get your tickets now.
The world stage is set for the ultimate battle royale. 9 divas get back in the ring for a go at glory. Are you ready for a rematch?
It's officially starting. That is a work of art. Absolutely magnificent.
You are on fire. This is the best season ever!
Canada's Drag Race, Canada versus the World. New season will stream now, only on Crave. The Source with Caitlin Collins, tonight at 9.
This is CNN Breaking News.
Welcome to Inside Politics. I'm Dana Bash, and we start with the wildest presidential campaign of our lifetime, hands down. Moments ago, we heard from Vice President Kamala Harris for the first time since yesterday's political earthquake.
Joe Biden's legacy of accomplishment over the past 3 years is unmatched in modern history. His honesty, his integrity, his commitment to his faith and his family, his big heart, and his love, deep love of our country. And I am first-hand witness that every day our President Joe Biden fights for the American people, and we are deeply, deeply grateful for his service to our nation.
Her brand new campaign debuted this logo, Harris for President, and this afternoon she is going to visit what until yesterday was the Biden-Harris headquarters in Wilmington, Delaware. It is now Harris HQ. CNN's NJ Lee is at the White House. NJ, so much news, so much reporting that you and our team have done. What is the latest about where things stand with her and her efforts just in the last not even 24 hours to sew up the nomination in warp speed?
Yeah, I mean, Dana, this event is typically as apolitical a White House event would get. This is a celebration of the NCAA champions at the White House. But politics, of course, looms so large given the events of the last 24 hours. The vice president wasn't even supposed to be leading this event. Typically, it would be the president who would give remarks at the top, but of course, he has been secluded in Rehoboth as he is recovering from COVID. I think the remarks that you just played from her right at the top really gave us a little bit of a preview of how she might handle the coming weeks as she really gets out there on the campaign trail. We've heard her sort of paying tribute to the president, thanking him for everything he has accomplished in the last 3.5 years, and also really lauding his accomplishments, which, to be clear, she would say are also her accomplishments made by the Biden-Harris administration, and also just talking a little bit about the president's character, saying that he is someone of honesty and integrity and faith, somebody with a big heart, is what she said. And I think, just trying to give you a picture of the whirlwind of the last 24 hours for the vice president. Obviously, we've done a lot of reporting on the many, many hours she has spent on the phone, reaching out to Democratic leaders and others that would be important to her, locking up this nomination. I just got off the phone with Reverend Al Sharpton, who was one of the people that got a call from the vice president last night, and this was such an interesting insight into how the vice president has been handling herself. He said that she sounded genuinely taken aback, that she conveyed to him, I had no idea that this was coming. We, of course, reported that the vice president got that phone call herself yesterday from the president, and he said that the last time that they had spoken was a week ago, and that when that last conversation happened, she had been so emphatic to the Reverend, you have to stay with the president, do not abandon him, and that she had been completely loyal and backing him at a moment, remember a week ago, was when the floodgates of criticism and the calls for him to drop out had really opened up. So this is somebody who behind the scenes had been keeping her head down, had been incredibly loyal to the president at a moment of such political peril for him, and now of course she has to chart her own way forward and try to figure out what her candidacy is really going to be about and how she is going to distinguish herself from the president as well. Dana.
MJ, thank you so much. What an interesting discussion that you had with Reverend Al. Appreciate that. There's so much more to discuss with more great, smart reporters, CNN's Manu Raju, Casey Hunt, and Isaac Dovier, and Laura Barone-Lopez of the PBS NewsHour. I was going to ask how your day was, but it feels like I should say, how was your year?
What days ago?
Your year over the past 24 hours. Because 24 hours ago, Joe Biden was the candidate for president. I just want to say that. Isaac, you have just been with the vice president, with Vice President Harris. You traveled with her to Cape Cod. You were on her plane with her. And I know that in addition to that, you have been doing great reporting on CNN.com right now about how she plans to prosecute the case against Donald Trump. Before I come to you on that, there's the headline of your great story. I want to just give our viewers a little bit of a taste of how she's already been doing that on the campaign trail.
In the case of the stealing of reproductive freedom from the women of America, Donald Trump is guilty. You cannot claim to be for unity if you try to overturn a free and fair election. Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America? And are we ready to fight for it? And when we fight, we win.
Take us behind the curtain, inside out too, and what you want.
Look, you may remember in 2019 when she was first launching her presidential campaign then, she talked about Kamala Harris for the people, prosecutor for president. It didn't work then. It didn't work then in part because she pulled away from it. There was a lot of progressive questioning of it, of whether she was Kamala the cop, is the way that people made it out to be. But it also was a situation where she was saying Trump is guilty of all these things, but it was more rhetoric. Than now, when she is coming forward and saying, this guy is a convicted felon. He is on trial for all these things. He did have the E.G. Terrell civil suit found against him. This is an argument that she wants to make, and it taps into not only her bio, but the attempt that will be made here by her advisors to make her out as tough, strong, attributes that they think are part of her being a prosecutor, but also fit pretty well with being commander-in-chief and also smart. And that's all contrast that she wants to make to Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean, I just was so struck watching a video of Harris because obviously we know she's been out there on the trail for Biden, but we've also seen her as the number two the entire time. And yes, she has had some more moments on abortion rights and other places, but it just hits so differently now that you know she's at the top of the ticket. I mean, the contrast between what we would see from President Biden in terms of how she can approach it, the sort of the sheer energy that she brings to the project, it just really underscores how different running against her is going to be for Donald Trump. And you have seen, you know, the Trump campaign had really set up everything to run against Joe Biden. Even if you read Tim Alberta's great piece in The Atlantic, you know, we talked to Susie Wiles and Chris LaCivita, and they were really talking about it. They were willing to admit on the record, they're like, the Democratic Party, we would have trouble running against the Democratic Party. But we're not going to have so much trouble running against Joe Biden. Turns out they got not what they wished for, because they did that early debate and we saw what happened. So I think I'm just struck by that.
And that energy that Donald Trump's campaign now doesn't know what to do with, also Democrats are really excited about. Just the Democrats that I've talked to this morning alone, we just talked about momentum. Everything has changed now. We're not as worried about down ballot races now. You know, they really feel as though this is something that totally changes the race for them, totally changes the dynamics. And a state party chair told me that he wasn't too excited going into the convention, and now they're really excited about going into the convention because of their prospects.
So one of the most important names of the game of politics is to define the candidate. And as you said, and you are doing in your reporting, Kamala Harris's people are rightly trying to make sure that she is defined the way they want her to be defined immediately right out the gate. Well, that's exactly what Trump world is doing as well. Let's just watch a little bit of what they instantly did in an ad.
Kamala knew Joe couldn't do the job, so she did it. Look what she got done. A border invasion, runaway inflation, the American dream dead. They created this mess. Kamala owns this failed record.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to a bunch of Republicans this morning about exactly what is the strategy against Kamala Harris. One, they do recognize, obviously, it's a much different race. This brings a different level of energy to the Democratic base. There's been such a huge enthusiasm gap between what Democrats and Republicans. Something that was very clear during the Republican National Convention. But what they are going to try to seize on is try to tie some of the more unpopular parts of the Biden administration, his policies, directly to Kamala Harris, given that, of course, she was vice president, the border being front and center. Of course, she was involved in trying to deal with Central American countries and Mexico, trying to figure out the root causes of the migration problem. They're going to try to tie everything to all the border problems for her. How does that play come November? And also the litigation as well. I just talked to Mike Johnson this morning, the Speaker of the House, and he indicated very well that they're going to try to fight ballot by ballot, potentially different states, try to deny her to get on the ballot, suggesting there could be something running afoul of state laws. There's still a question about what exactly that means. Legal experts dispute that, but they're trying to hone in on what exactly their best strategy is against
And
Harris.
that'll also tap into some other stuff that you see coming around here, which is, look, 4 years ago when she was put on the ticket, there was some, is she actually a citizen? Can she constitutionally serve? A lot of mispronunciations of her name. It was striking to me in that commercial, they referred to her as Kamala, not Harris, not like the vice president.
They said her name right.
Well, yeah, but there won't be an ad talking about Senator Vance as what did JB do,
Right.
And that is something that Harris is going to go up against. Obviously, was an issue for Hillary Clinton. We cannot ignore that sexism is quite real in this country and in our politics. And sexism, racism, those are things that, yes, she can tap into a lot of the energy in the base among women, among people of color, but it is part of what's ahead for her.
Speaking of, well, first of all, I just want to show, because we've kind of, what is understood to be the case as part of our conversation is she's got this locked up. I mean, there's nobody that we have seen who has come out and said that they're going to run yet. Manchin flirted with it for about 5 minutes.
Well, he came on with us at 6:45 a.m. and I think by 7:15 someone had called him on the phone.
That's
unclear what happened in that amount of time.
But just to show you some of the people who have endorsed her just in the last, again, 23 hours, key people who potentially could have been running. Andy Beshear, the governor of Kentucky, Secretary Buttigieg, Roy Cooper, Mark Kelly, Wes Moore, J.D. Pritzker, Josh Shapiro, Gretchen Whitmer. What do all those people have in common? They also could be potential running mates, and that's another big challenge that she's going to have like immediately. She's got no time to do that. Let's just take a listen to what one of the people on that list, Governor Andy Beshear of Kentucky, said this morning on another network.
J.D. Vance ain't from here. Now, the nerve that he has to call the people of Kentucky, of eastern Kentucky, lazy. Listen, these are the hardworking coal miners that powered the Industrial Revolution. We should be thanking them, not calling them lazy.
Now that is an audition. That is. And Governor Roy Cooper was also making an audition this morning, and the two of them are on that list and they're the names that come up a lot from other Democrats and when it comes to who they'd like to see on the ticket with Vice President Harris. I think that we could very well see her decide on a VP pretty fast, if not this week, because of the fact that Democrats are still trying to figure out whether or not they're going to do that virtual roll call vote on August 1st, or if they can actually wait till the full convention. But if they have to do it on August 1st because of the concerns about litigation, then she's going to want that VP vote blocked up. We have to take a break. Somebody who has not come out and talked, he endorsed her, is Mark Kelly, whose name is definitely kind of very
But then you have to replace him
Yeah.
in the Senate, which is a real.
But there's a Democratic.
2026.
Yeah.
2026.
Okay. We're going to talk about this. Coming up, as the great philosopher Ferris Bueller once said, life moves pretty fast. Well, here's a check. Private citizen Donald Trump wrote more than a decade ago to, can you see it there? That's right, Kamala Harris when she was running for California Attorney General. Fast forward to today, what is the Trump plan to attack his likely new opponent? We're going to talk more about that next.
Washington crosses the Delaware. Edison invents the light bulb. The Impractical Jokers move to TDS. Some moments belong in the history books. Impractical Jokers, all new Thursdays at 10 on TDS. Set your DVR now.
You've been tracking the value of a car. Should we sell it?
Our low mileage is paying off. You think we should?
Go to Carvana and try more cars value today. The all-new GoDaddy Aero helps you get your business online in minutes with the power of AI. With the perfect name, a great logo, and a beautiful website. Just start with a domain, a few clicks, and you're in business. Make now the feature at GoDaddy.com/aero.
Right? Diabetes. There's no slowing down. Each day is a unique blend of people to see and things to do. That's why you choose Glucerna to help manage blood sugar response. Uniquely designed with carb state. Glucerna. Bring on the day.
We've always loved taking care of our home. But last year, Grandpa here broke his arm. We realized some home maintenance jobs aren't worth the risk.
That's when we call Leaf Filter to protect our gutters.
Leaf Filter's patented filter technology keeps debris out of your gutters for good.
They gave us a free inspection, and we had the system installed that week.
My only regret is not calling them cynical.
Now we can focus on what we really enjoy.
Join millions of satisfied homeowners. Call 833-LEAF-FILTER today or visit leaffilter.com.
Sandals really good news. Korean sale is now on. Visit sandals.com or call 1-800-SANDALS.
I'm sorry, there was a long line at the Thai place.
You get the sauce all right?
Of course.
Good for him.
I wish.
The future isn't scary. Not investing in it is. NASDAQ 100 Innovators, 1 ETF. Before investing carefully, read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
I can tell you how much you spend on takeout, and
It's a lot. You can track my spending by category. 1, weird. 2, how.
Rocket Money.
Go on.
It's a finance app that shows you all your accounts, bills, and subscriptions in one place. And it analyzes your spending habits to create a custom budget that works for even you.
Sign me up.
So tell me about your heart attack. Our heart attack was scary.
never want to go through that again.
But we could.
With heart disease, you never know.
So, we need changes.
Green juice.
Yeah, not a fan. Diet, exercise.
Statins helped, but our LDL-C, bad cholesterol, it was stuck. Just couldn't lower it enough. And high LDL-C
It meant a real risk of another attack. So I said, let's ask our doctor about Repatha.
Can I say? Listen to your heart.
Repatha plus a statin dramatically lowers LDL-C by 63% and significantly drops the risk of having a heart attack. Do not take Repatha if you are allergic to it. Repatha can cause serious allergic reactions. Signs include trouble breathing or swallowing or sweating of the face. Most common side effects include runny nose, sore throat, common cold symptoms, flu or flu-like symptoms, back pain, high blood sugar, and redness, pain, or bruising at the injection site.
We won't let another heart attack set us back.
And neither should you.
Listen to your heart, lower your LDL-C and your risk with Repatha. Talk to your doctor.
The North is ready to conquer the world.
There is a general and genuine feeling of hope coming from people. There is a legend here that when you come to Angola and visit the Kwanza River and drink from its water, you'll never want to leave.
Coming to Abu Dhabi for me was a moment of exhale. Here I can be my authentic self. I knew this was the right move for my daughters. They are thriving. You make friends. You make connections.
Fighting a good fight, right? And you do it every day.
I felt like my path has brought me here and I'm meant to be here in Abu Dhabi.
I'm Rafael Rolo at the Georgia State Capitol in Atlanta. This is CNN.
Right now, the director of the U.S. Secret Service, Kimberly Cheadle, is testifying before a House committee. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle
Hello everyone.
Mag 1 hour ako taman 52 minutes na. Mag-end ako ka na ako nga mo.